90% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in they Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move. Whatever click you choose, you better
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to Life, and I'm gonna give you my breakdown and my opinion on the arrest of the individual who was charged with the murder of Takeoff from the rap group The Migos. So as many of you well know, they charged somebody with the murder of Takeoff. This guy happens to be named Patrick Xavier Clark. He's 33 years old, and from what I can see and some of the things that I researched, he got his start as a DJ at a strip club out there in Houston. And so when he was arrested, he was found to be in possession of what's known as an expedited passport. So it appears that he was trying to take a trip to Mexico. They also reporting that he was found with a large sum of cash. So for these reasons and a few others, at his initial hearing in court, they asked that he be deemed a flight risk and that his bail be set at $1 million. I think by the time the hearing was complete, they actually set his bail at $2 million, which is extremely high. They also hit him with a couple of stipulations in the event that he does make bail. Some of these stipulations are regular protocol and some not. Some of the stipulations that they asked in the event he makes bail, that he doesn't contact anybody from Takeoff's family. Now, things like that, those are normal procedure things. What was kind of an indication of how the district attorney is feeling, they also asked that in the event he makes bail, he has no contact with anyone from J. Prince Jr.'s camp, the mob ties. And so that is a bit of an indication of they may think there is some type of correlation between those two groups. So we definitely have to just see how things end up transpiring on that aspect. Now, you have a lot of dudes who like to say that Little Cam, who was arrested a couple of days ago, he snitched and he told, and that's why the police came and got this dude who goes by the name also, well, his name, like I said, is Patrick Xavier Clark, but he also goes by the name of DJ Pat. So you have a lot of people who are already pointing fingers saying that Little Cam gave up DJ Pat. Well, in my opinion, the police was already coming to get DJ Pat. You know, he's been identified and seen in the footage, and the police also done what they call shooting reconstruction, which is basically try to pinpoint where they believe the bullets came from due to where people received injuries, where they say that Takeoff was shot 2 times and they're accusing DJ Pat of shooting him 2 times, I guess due to where he was standing, the trajectory of the bullet and things like that. You know, you have a lot of people asking, well, why wasn't Migo Bands arrested? Now, Migo Bands is part of the Migos entourage, and he's also reported to be a cousin of Takeoff. And so some people are asking, well, why wasn't he arrested? Because Little Cam was arrested and being charged with being a felon, being in possession of a weapon, clearly because he has been identified in the footage. So some people are asking, why isn't the same charges being placed on Migo Bands? Well, who knows? Possibly Migo Bands may have been authorized and allowed to carry that weapon. He may have been a licensed carry. Also, he may have not been a felon. I'm not saying that this occurred. I'm just speculating, like I say, due to, you know, being involved in the streets and being locked up in prison. Sometimes I end up having a small little bit of knowledge of how things work. And so it's possible that once he was identified, and I'm talking about Miko Bands, once he was identified on camera of being in possession of a weapon, it's possible he went down and handed his gun over and let his gun get tested for ballistics, and it was determined that the bullets from his gun were not the ones were not the bullets that caused the injury and the death of Takeoff. And like I said, once again, I'm just speculating because we have no proof of that, but so far he has not been charged. People love to, like I said, unfairly suggest individuals are snitching and this and that, and that's a jacket that I'm not gonna put on anybody without any proof, any paperwork and stuff like that. But one thing I do know, like I said, it's a different generation. There's cameras everywhere, and you have a lot of people who play the role, who act like they're part of the street life, and they want that life until things get rough and they get caught up in a real situation. You know, there is video of Little Cam's lawyer being asked, will Little Cam cooperate with the police? And his lawyer replies, we may do that if we decide to do that. You know, just in my opinion now, if Little Cam didn't want anything to do with that investigation and was only going to deal with being charged with a felon in possession of a weapon, that is information he definitely would have relayed to his lawyer, and his lawyer could have answered the question like, well, hey, we don't know nothing about that. My client doesn't know anything about him being shot. So it does seem like that's something on the table, but we'll have to wait and let that play out and see. You have a lot of people also coming to the aid of DJ Pat, you know, friends saying that he wasn't an individual like that, and he couldn't have been the one that shot him because he's not that type of dude. So we don't know. You know, there is reports of him being charged in 2018, or excuse me, being investigated in a shooting at a club where someone lost his life. So what's being reported is an individual was put out of the club. He went to his car. He came back and he retrieved a weapon and came back and started shooting. It's being reported that DJ Pat and someone else returned fire at the dude who was shooting. The dude who was shooting was subsequently killed. DJ Pat, they say, left the scene, but then he came back and cooperated with the investigation, and it was determined that he would not be charged. You know, let's also keep in mind that Texas is a stand your ground state, meaning that if someone comes and attempts to do bodily harm, you have the right to defend yourself. And so for whatever reason, he was not charged with that murder. So like I say, we'll definitely sit back and see how this all plays out. This is something that's definitely going to be in the news. People are going to be keeping up with it. So we'll see how it all plays out, man. You already know what it is, though. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.